In the news this week, the government makes a fresh commitment to review the abuse of trust law, the Home Office reminds police to enforce the law on illegal drugs, and the UK's smallest baby in 16 years returns home from hospital. Hello. The government has made a fresh commitment to review the gap in its abuse of trust legislation. The current law makes it an offence for teachers and care workers to have sex with people under the age of 18 in their care, but others, including sports coaches, are exempt. The government initially agreed to review the law in November 2017, after then Sports Minister Tracy Crouch said changes were needed. It later backtracked on its decision in 2018, but has now agreed to review protections for 16 and 17-year-olds. The NSPCC's CEO, Peter Wanless, said the government's decision to review the abuse of trust law is an encouraging, if overdue, step in the right direction. The Christian Institute's Kieran Kelly also gave a cautious welcome to the news.
Way back in 2000, we warned that the abuse of trust law was being framed far too narrowly. We knew that leaving out sports coaches was going to leave some young people open to abuse, and tragically since then we've been proved right. The government had promised back in 2017 that it was going to look at changing the law, made that public commitment, subsequently U-turned on that promise. So if they do keep this latest promise, that will go some way towards ensuring that young people are protected from all forms of sexual exploitation.
The Home Office has warned police it expects officers to enforce the law after new figures revealed the number of offences for cannabis possession had dropped dramatically in the last 10 years. Between 2008 and 2018, recorded offences fell by 59% in London, 66% in the West Midlands and 77% in Greater Manchester. Despite cannabis being the most used drug, more than half of police forces recorded 40% fewer crimes. Police chiefs have been among those pushing for a more lenient approach to drugs policy. Durham Chief Constable Mike Barton said users in his area were often ignored or placed on assessment schemes, while West Yorkshire Chief Constable Dee Collins denied decriminalising the drug, but said her officers tended to use cautions rather than the courts. A new 3-year plan to curb the harmful effects of gambling has been announced by the industry regulator. The Gambling Commission and Public Health England want to ensure that more is done to tackle gambling addiction. The regulator is expected to announce stronger measures in the coming year, including compulsory age verification and banning the use of credit cards to place bets. NHS England's National Director for Mental Health, Claire Murdoch, welcomed the new strategy. There is increasing evidence of a link between problem gambling and stress, depression and other mental health issues, and this is an important step. And finally, the UK's smallest baby since 2003 has returned home after defying medical expectations. Isabella Evans was born at 24 weeks, with doctors only giving her a 5% chance of survival. Mum, Kim, was sent for an emergency caesarean when doctors discovered baby Isabella had stopped developing at 21 weeks and her heart rate had dropped. The 12-ounce baby girl underwent 2 life-saving operations, including surgery for a ruptured bowel, but has now safely returned home. Grace Brown from the pro-life charity SPUC commented on Isabella's case.
I would think that we now have an increasing amount of babies being born before the abortion time limit and surviving, and all that does is that it highlights the nonsensical pro-abortion attitudes that is burdening over this country. You know, every innocent human life is deserving of love and support, and that's regardless of development or ability. And it's truly chilling to think that in the same hospital where baby Isabella was being loved and cared for, there were other children at the exact same stage of fetal development being targeted for abortion.
Well, that's all for this week. For regular updates and information on all of our stories, plus much more, visit our website at christian.org.uk. Until next time, goodbye.